Okay, looks like we are live. I pressed the go live button before I intended to, so it's just me right now, waiting on Dane to join when he can, of course, and gonna have some fun today talking about lineups. It's week one, baby. Week one is here. Sunday Mass is here, and yeah, just give me a second here to pull up some lineups so we can get to talking about lineup questions, startums, situms. Who do we think is going to have a pretty big week this week? And as always, just throw any questions that you have in the chat, and we will address them shortly. Okay, I am in. So if you're listening right now, I just want to give a shout out to Noah Brown, the wide receiver for the Ryan. Welcome to Sunday Mass.
It's good, brothers.
We got Ryan Daly in the house, live streaming on YouTube for the Fantasy Bible. Ryan, do you have any lineup questions? What are your thoughts going into week one?
Brother, I don't know, man. Let me ruminate on that for a second.
I'll pull up your lineup here and see if we can.
Yeah.
Hey, what up, Brian?
Hey, Dane in the building, Ryan in the building. We're live on the Sunday Mass, just
What's good,
talking lineups.
Yeah, I'm looking at my shit. I'm intrigued by Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Obviously, I've got Burrow and Harris.
I'm curious, you have Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. Any thought to starting Tom Brady against Dallas over Joe Burrow against Pittsburgh?
Man, that is the big question for me. I don't know. I guess I just figure, dude, I'm not that up on Dallas's D. I don't know that much about it. But
Micah Parsons is really good. That's about all you need to know. Trayvon Diggs kind of overblown.
I think it's got a higher point total, which is like the main takeaway. Is like it's expected to be. I want to say it's over 50, where I'm sure the Pittsburgh game is around 46.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking that Burrow will probably just be electric game one. And I've seen Brady have kind of slow starts. And I mean, they lost wasn't it his first year with the Bucs? They dropped their first two. Or am I tripping? Was that?
No,
that is not what happened now.
They definitely started slow, though.
Or was it his last season with the Pats that they dropped there? When did he drop the first two games and there was like talk of?
That was probably his last season with the Pats, but
Yeah.
I also think that they did start slow that first year with the Bucs. So I remember him talking about how he didn't really know the full playbook, but I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I mean, he's been in that system; it's the same system. I just think that game has the potential for the higher point total, but it's hard to not start Joe Burrow. I mean, he's who you invested a higher draft pick in.
Yeah, dude, there's every chance in the world that I might regret it. But I don't know. Just Burrow has shown a lot of big playability. Obviously, Tom Brady is Tom Brady, but I'm just feeling this out week one, I think, with the QB situation. And then my other big question is Michael Thomas.
Don't start Michael Thomas.
Yeah, that dude sketches me out right now.
I mean, Chark is who's going in if I don't.
I would definitely start Chark over Michael Thomas. He's a guy I need to see it pan out for before I want to play him, unless I'm in dire straits. It sounds like Chark is a fine substitute, but I could eat my words. I don't know. Michael Thomas, he was pretty good 2019 last time he played.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Thomas fully healthy, active, and going against a terrible Falcons defense versus DJ Chark going against what should be a somewhat stout Philadelphia defense. But yeah, I would be very sketched about starting Michael Thomas. Although, like DJ Chark, it's not like DJ Chark is
Sure thing.
so
No,
much
he's
better
not.
of an
Yeah.
option that you might want. Yeah, hearing your alternatives, I would probably
Yeah.
just ride with Michael Thomas there.
Well, I'm for sure not putting Galladay in this week. That's just a wait and see.
I feel like you can just drop him.
Yeah, he's a week one drop candidate for sure. When you make your waiver claims on Tuesday, he'll probably be the first one to hit the free agency pool there.
Yeah.
Dane, do you have any? Well, first let's talk about Thursday night real quick. Did you all watch the game?
Most of it.
So how are we feeling? Are the Rams bad or are the Bills just that good?
I think the Rams offensive line is in real trouble. But the Bills just matched up nicely against it. I don't know. The Bills played like only 2 snaps of man and the rest zone. So it could have just been a mismatch. I think the Rams will be better, but I think I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender after seeing that. That's where my mind's at.
Yeah, I guess it's my concern is that if the line is bad all year and they're getting, obviously that's not great for the offense, but could be especially bad for Allen Robinson if Stafford's just looking for his safety blanket when he's getting pressured on every play and he just finds Cup, because that's exactly what happened in that game. And Allen Robinson walks away with 2 targets, 1 catch for I think 12 yards. Not the performance that we expected after him being hyped up all off season. Where are y'all on A-Rob? Are we hitting the panic button or are we just holding out for another week?
I was playing against them. Brandon's got him. Dude, I don't know.
So you're feeling great.
I'm feeling fantastic about the situation, but I'd be worried, dude.
I'm a little worried. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty significant. A lot of people, that seems to be counter to the narrative that's going on right now. A lot of film Twitter posting all these things of, hey, look how open Allen Robinson is. Well, it doesn't matter if Matthew Stafford's just not going to throw to him. And we saw this happen with Robert Woods last year, where he would just disappear for large stretches of a time. And the hope was that this year would be a little different, especially with how much they were talking up Allen Robinson. They shipped out Robert Woods to bring in Allen Robinson. But yeah, it could be, he might be just like kind of a low end wide receiver too, that we're hoping for that touchdown upside in those spike weeks.
Dude, with Stafford, I think his first interception of the game really wasn't on him. It got ripped out of the receiver's hands, I think, his first interception. But some of them were like he was throwing high. He might just have like a Super Bowl hangover. He didn't look like himself to me.
There was one, I can't even remember the specifics, but it was like before Matthew Stafford would have been like really pressing to try and win this game. And he fired a deep shot and the receiver had a step, but the deep shot was, not only was it an overthrow, it was an overthrow and it was about like 3 yards to the right, too far. Like it wasn't even in the territory of the receiver. And that was troubling when you just kind of think of like, is he getting the right velocity on his throws with this elbow issue? Is he having mechanics issues? There's a couple breakdowns of his mechanics from last night where he's not doing the sidearm. He's doing a lot of over the top motions, which isn't really what he's made his bread and butter on. So yeah, he didn't look good. I think the interceptions are always going to come with like a gunslinging quarterback, but yeah, I think that like place your 49ers futures bets now is what I would say for that division.
Which is still crazy to me because I don't even know how I feel about Trey Lance-led 49ers team winning the division, but I do have faith that the team overall will be good. But it's just hard to like bet them right now with a young, unproven quarterback who barely played football in the past 2 years himself to beat out the Super Bowl champions. But I'm believing that more and more. I do want to see what the 49ers look like today. They don't have a testy matchup, but I want to see some good things from them against the Bears.
Yeah, that's the challenge, is that they're going against the Bears. So, Trey Lance could light it up and it wouldn't necessarily, it'll tell us that he can beat up on bad teams like Jalen Hurts was able to last year, but it won't really tell us much about the 49ers ceiling. Obviously week 1, probably the fewest amount of lineup questions. Your team is probably at full strength. You're feeling pretty good about it, but there is one that I'm ready to ride with.
Do it. What are you looking at?
This morning, I swapped out Melvin Gordon for Dameon Pierce. Because listen, we're going to ride this Dameon Pierce hype train, and we're either going to ride it straight into the ground for 10 carries for 45 yards, and that's it. Or we're going to get some touchdowns, some goal line action. The way I kind of decided this was like, it's much more exciting to watch Dameon Pierce week 1 than Melvin Gordon. And then Melvin Gordon, low key, I think it's going to be a pretty sticky matchup there in Seattle. I think they might have some trouble moving the ball. And I think the overall point total for that one is just going to be low. And I think the touchdown is going to go to Javonte or Melvin Gordon rather than one of those weeks where they can both pick up a touchdown. So I'm going to ride with the starter and Dameon Pierce. What are y'all's thoughts on that decision?
Personally, I think it's fine because he's a shoo-in for running back 1 work. Melvin Gordon is clearly in a split backfield, 50-50 at best. On a better offense, of course, Texans, I don't expect to score more than maybe 3 touchdowns at most. So, you hope for a touchdown with the start like Dameon Pierce. He's going to get 15 to 18 touches. It's pretty much a guarantee in my mind. So whether they come on the ground in the first quarter, second quarter, they're behind. Now it has to happen through the air. Either way, that benefits Dameon Pierce. I think he'll have a 60 to 70% snap count. Melvin Gordon probably 55 at most. So I think it's fine to play that. The hype train is just undeniable. I mean, it's fun. You got to have fun in fantasy. Pick the guy you want to root for. And I don't think the fantasy points are going to be much different at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy that like sat Dameon Pierce if he has like this incredible debut. Also, Ryan, I think we need to chat about your dynasty lineup. Maybe you haven't said it yet, but
I'm just going into look right now.
They're just the frantic thumb movements. My concern here is that J.K. Dobbins is unlikely to play week 1. And
he's actually, I think, sitting this. I think I saw a news blurb. He is going to sit.
Okay, confirmed. Because when I last saw it was trending towards doubtful. I think they removed the doubtful designation, but
yeah,
that was the vibe. And then it seems like that is going to be the case. But fortunately, you've got Isaiah Spiller, you've got Michael Carter, you've got options here.
I would definitely do Carter over Spiller. Like not even thinking about it.
Yeah, I think.
That's what I'm doing here.
I think Carter's RB1 on that team.
I think he will be for the first 2 to 4 weeks. And then if Breece Hall plays better than him, which he should based on draft capital and hype and, all that, then it might switch. But yeah, I think to begin the year, at worst, it's a 50-50 split on a bad team against a good defense, the Ravens they play. So, it's not ideal, but he's a fine, fill in for your injury there.
Yeah, and I got Russell Gage. I'm wondering if that's wise, but I don't. Let's see.
I think week 1 is probably the best week to play Russell Gage.
Yeah, Godwin is healthy, I think, but
on a snap count report.
Yeah, I think he's going to be on a snap count. Julio's not going to play more than 65, 70% of snaps at most. So Gage is going to be on the field about 60 to 70% himself, if I had to guess.
But looking at your other options, Ryan, and this is one I wanted to toss out to you, Dane, as well, as I was just kind of looking at who are we going to be claiming on waivers next week? Are we all undervaluing Randall Cobb right now?
We are, but he's never going to have a ceiling once Allen Lazard comes back. So I think if you need to play him, it's going to be like now. It may be next week if Lazard is still out, maybe if Lazard's injury lingers, but I mean, for fantasy, Randall Cobb is never going to have a ceiling more than like 12 points. He's going to be necessary to get a touchdown to break 10 on any given week in my mind.
Yeah, I had someone text me this morning asking if they should drop Lazard.
No, absolutely not.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
he hasn't even played a snap. Like if he was a dud this week, maybe, but wait for the guy that Rodgers called the potential wide receiver 1 on that offense to get healthy.
I think also a great spot start this week is AJ Green, kind of in the same idea of Randall Cobb. Talented guys past their prime, but the targets will be there this week based on injuries on their team. Obviously, Hopkins suspended. Rondale Moore is out with a groin injury, I believe. I don't remember, maybe ankle, but it's AJ Green and, Zach Ertz, who's on a snap count himself with a calf injury. AJ Green's going to have probably 8 to 10 targets, and hopefully he catches 7 of them. They're going to have to throw. They're against the Chiefs. They're going to be down. I think he's a great flex play this week, but we're going to be fooled into thinking he's going to be a season-long asset, just like we are week 1 every single season.
Yeah, I agree there, and I think that Cardinals Chiefs game has a very high implied point total. What's going on with Zach Ertz?
Calf injury. He's been limited in practice pretty much all week. I think I don't even know if he logged a full practice, but he is going to play today. Rumors of a snap count, I would definitely say they will, hold to that. He's like 31 years old. Calf injuries are notoriously finicky, easily re-injured. So
should I be rolling out Cole Kmet instead of Zach Ertz here?
That's what I was going to ask you as well, because I have Zach Ertz in a league, and then I have Austin Hooper, Tennessee Titans tight end behind him. And I'm worried for Zach Ertz. If he's not on the field enough to get 6 targets, then it scares me, because his upside is like he's like when he's fully
it's the
healthy.
Same as you mentioned with AJ Green. Like,
yeah,
he could get 13 targets with Rondell Moore out and Hopkins obviously out. But Cole Kmet, maybe Isaiah Likely is the play here.
You're just going full hype train, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh man, this is tough. I think I will probably leave Ertz in because of the matchup and because he's going to be on the field, and it would stink if you start your studs if you can still apply that descriptor to Zach Ertz. But that's a tough one. I think if you have a healthy option like Hunter Henry, I would rather start Hunter Henry, I think, than Zach.
I just get weird vibes every time I hear Hunter Henry, because if he doesn't catch a touchdown, he's worthless. Like any tight end.
That's
really.
Every tight end, though.
Yeah,
he's caught 10 of them last year, so he's going to be used in the red zone at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys, I don't know if you guys brought it up already, but George Kittle is out. I'm just now.
He is out.
Yeah. Damn.
Ooh. So I guess that's then you have to make a decision in PJPL.
Yeah, I just put in Gesicki, which is,
Yeah.
I guess that's not the word. That was, for one, it was my only other option, but that's not the word.
That's probably better than anything on the waiver wire.
Yeah, let me take a quick look. Austin Hooper, Gerald Everett, Hayden Hurst. Yeah. Mo Alley Cox. I gotta mention Mo Alley Cox. I want to bet like anytime touchdown Mo Alley Cox. He's like plus 300. I just think the vibes are there. I blindly have faith in this player. He's going to be on the field a lot more, running routes. There's no one bigger than him when they get to the red zone on that team. How about it?
I would pitch Gerald Everett over Mo Alley Cox. Justin Herbert looked Jared Cook's way a surprising amount last year, and Gerald Everett fills that role with a much higher athletic ceiling. But Everett or Gesicki, I think, is a tougher call. I think I would still go Everett just because of like the weird juju that's been coming out around Gesicki, where they tried to trade him and he's going to be used in more of a blocking role like Kittle would be, but at the same time he runs like a 4.40. He's like one of the fastest tight ends. He's the fastest tight end in the league, so there might be more upside with him. But Chiefs or the Chargers game has a high implied point total as well against the Raiders. So
yeah, one of the highest of the week.
Much higher than Patriots and Dolphins is likely to be. So if you want to chase the points based on the betting odds, Everett could be the play there. Dane, I've got a challenge for you. So I've got a bunch of running backs that are all like around the same level: Breece Hall, Antonio Gibson, Etienne, and Sanders.
Etienne.
Sit Etienne?
Oh, you're saying sit. Oh.
I need to start 3 of the 4.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So Etienne is a definite start, and then Breece Hall and Miles Sanders, and what was the last one?
Antonio Gibson playing against Jacksonville as the starting running back.
I think you kind of want to sit Breece Hall there, as weird as that
that's
sounds.
what I think you have to start Sanders over Breece Hall.
Yeah, and it's between those two guys which one you sit. You're a Birds fan, but you know that it's so hard to predict what they do at running back by committee there. So, if he gets 10 touches, is that good enough? And I don't know, but Breece Hall might only get 10 touches himself on a presumably bad Jets offense with Joe Flacco starting against the Baltimore Ravens, that's kind of terrifying. So,
Yeah. And, they were making this point on the Ringer Fantasy Show, and I agree with it so much. And it's why I've put some overs on Sanders this week is there is especially an organization like Philadelphia, which has a true like players coach, a player that likes to, or a coach that likes to lift up and empower his players. There's internal knowledge that Miles Sanders did not score a touchdown last year.
yeah.
And I think there will be a strong attempt to correct and rectify that situation in this game, to give a player that could have a high ceiling for them some confidence and some juice and some mojo against the team that they also ran all over last year. So I'm making the tinker move and I'm swapping out Brees Hall.
I think it's the right move. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I was going to ask what, as a Birds fan, you think of Sanders ability wise, because I've had him in the past, I think for 2 seasons.
It's tough because he's been an inconsistent but flashy player. Like his first year in the league, he was the most successful rookie running back. I believe he rushed for 800 yards and caught 500 yards worth of passes, which, okay, that's why everyone was drafting Miles Sanders in the first or second round. The following year, that year, he had 3 rushes of 75 plus yards, which was the most for a running back this season. He also just didn't perform consistently week to week. And then last year he was straight up terrible and injured. So I think he's the best running back on that team. But I also think, they signed Trey Sermon off of waivers. Miles Sanders has a tendency to hunt the big play, to bounce runs outside. And when you have an offensive line that's as good as Philly's, sometimes you just need to hit the hole and run for 7 yards over and over again instead of chasing that 25-yard run. So that has been Sanders' issue up to this point, and I do need to see it to believe that he's going to rectify that. But I also think that, he's lined up for a huge year here in terms of he's in a contract year. They're not going to, play nicely with his touches. Great offensive line, high offensive floor for that offense. So I'm higher on Sanders, but like the price on Sanders, we've seen it. Like he fell to the 9th or 10th round of our draft. And then I did a draft, an ESPN draft on Tuesday night where he fell 3 rounds beyond where his value was. So people are pretty low on Miles Sanders. I don't know if you have anything to add there, Dane.
No, I think that's fair. It's going to be something we need to see how they're going to use him, because when he's on the field a lot, he's a very good fantasy player in my mind. But of course, the upside is capped by Jalen Hurts being a running quarterback, could poach at the goal line. They do have Kenny Gainwell on the roster, who's also on the field a lot. Even Boston Scott has taken goal line snaps away. So you're really in like a 1 out of 4 players at the goal line situation with him. And unless they really show that he's the guy there, his upside will always be limited as like a 10 points or less running back 3 guy.
So let me follow up on that real quick, Dane. I realize now that I have swiped Miles Sanders in for Brees Hall, I'm starting Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, and Devontae Smith in one lineup. Should I reconsider? Who knows what's going to go on in this game? But I'd rather be starting Eagles against Lions than Jets against Ravens here. But 3 from one team is a lot.
That's tough. That's really tough. I will say Miles Sanders' anytime touchdown score is basically even at plus 105. So I would leave him in. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. By the way, for all those looking for some potential free money, last night at least, Dallas Goedert was plus 140 for over 4.5 receptions. It's a high reception total, but if you believe in Dallas Goedert like I do, scarf up that plus money there.
It's at plus 125 now for over 4.5 Dallas Goedert receptions. So
yeah, I like that. If Jalen Hurts throws 20 passes or completes 20 passes, at least 5 of them are going to Goedert.
That's fair. And he is slated to complete 18 and a half. So yeah, if that over hits.
Okay, week one here. I guess I'll ride with the birds and start 3 of them, but I guess I won't feel too bad if Brees Hall goes off. Then I just know that I've got a great running back
Yeah.
for the rest of the season, but I played it safe in week one, and it kind of balances out my Damian Pierce start in another league. So,
what do you think is going to be like the upset of the week if it were to happen? Like, do the Lions stand a chance of knocking off the Eagles? Could the Bears possibly take it to Trey Lance? Are the Dolphins
my answer to this?
I don't, but I probably do.
It's Monday Night Football, baby.
Oh, the Broncos Seahawks. Yeah, you did mention that. I don't see that in the realm of possibility that it could even be close. Maybe it's close for a half. There's no way the Seahawks
Who
beat
knows
the Broncos.
how to get to Russell Wilson better than Pete Carroll?
Does he have the tools to get to him? The Broncos are a decent offensive line, and they have so many weapons that are going to be a viable option to dump it off. I don't know. What is?
But Russell Wilson doesn't dump it off. I think they'll give him the dump off routes all game, baby.
Maybe so.
Then rely on the fact that his agility is lacking, and just put a spy on him and take him down for a tackle for loss.
Ryan,
sack,
break the tie here. There's no way the Seahawks beat the Broncos, right?
Well, you asked me for a crazy upset, not something that was likely to happen. I think this is the most likely upset.
Okay, that's where we disagree.
I would say I don't see that happening.
All right, guys. Then let's hear your upsets.
I think the Vikings have a real chance of beating the Packers this week.
It's even. It's basically even money. That's not an upset. That's a coward. Pick a real upset?
Is that actually even odds? All right, let me see.
The Packers are missing David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins. They're missing.
Yeah. Oh, it is even now. Sorry. Last time I looked at it, it was plus 150 for Packers before those injuries came through. So I apologize. I apologize.
Pick a crazy upset. Here are 2 even teams.
Man, I don't think the Cardinals have a legit shot. I think the Giants could just disprove that the Titans are even a good team this year.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I think it could happen. New coach, Brian Daboll with the Giants. Hopefully he retools Daniel Jones and that offense to the skill set they have available to them. I just think they could break a game off. Maybe it doesn't even mean they have a good season, but the over-under is 44. It could go one of two ways with turnovers or a fluke touchdown, special teams. Like, it just could happen. They're plus 200 to win. Not good odds. You don't want to bet on that, but I mean, the Titans, they did it last year. They proved they could scrape together a roster every single week and win. But I don't know that they can do that without A.J. Brown. We do want to see what Treylon Burks can bring to that offense. And then it's Robert Woods. They don't have like the flashy players outside of Derrick Henry. That's about all they can ride on. So
I think that's a great pick. I mean, so much uncertainty with what the Giants can be. Healthy Kadarius Toney. Hey, maybe that's the game winner right there.
Yeah, if those two guys pop, they have so much more potential than the Titans offense in my mind.
Ryan,
who's your upset of the week here?
Just to be a jerk off, I'm gonna say the Bears, dude.
Oh, right. I would love that turmoil.
That's crazy.
I would love. Let's hear the Jimmy Garoppolo start week 2 chance immediately.
Yeah. See, this seems crazy to me because, the Bears are so bad and the Niners defense is so good. But yeah, what if Trey Lance just comes out and craps the bed and Justin Fields is just the better second-year quarterback?
I did bet the under on completions for Justin Fields, so I don't see it happening. I just think that 49ers are going to swamp the Bears at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be running for his life. And the weather is apparently inclement there, like 20 mile per hour plus winds. So going to be tough for those quarterbacks to complete their passes. So I bet the under on completions there.
Oh, that's the Chicago game is?
Yeah, Chicago 49ers.
I guess
it would take a collapse by the Niners, but
it would.
Yeah, Lance would have to be really unprepared, and they would wait too long to put in Jimmy G. All right, we're reaching our 12:30 cutoff here, so I got one last lineup question for y'all. In the flex, Rashad Penny, Melvin Gordon, Kadarius Toney, Brandon Ayuk.
Safe touches, Rashad Penny. Brandon Ayuk has a lot of upside without Kittle, but again, the weather and Trey Lance is only supposed to complete like 15 and a half passes. So
it's going to be really hard for him to get that half one.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney, tons of upside. That half one. I'm just saying a betting line, dude.
I know.
Kadarius Toney has probably the highest upside, to be honest, of them all. But I think I'd play it safe. Go Rashad Penny. They're going to come out running the ball. The Seahawks will. They're going to try to impose their will, so to speak. Can they do it? I don't know. But even if they can't, Rashad Penny is going to be on the field catching dump offs if they can't do that. So he's going to be the running back one because Kenneth Walker is not on the roster for this week.
All right, I'm rolling with Penny. Any other closing thoughts, closing questions as we log off, start drinking, and get ready for week 1?
Let's get it.
All right. Ryan,
NFL
thank
football.
you for joining us. You're welcome anytime for Sunday Mass. It's a great time to tweak your lineup right before things get pumping.
Perfect way to ruin your week right before it begins.
Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully Michael Thomas goes off for you though.
Oh no, I already switched him. Him. Rolling with Shark, brother. I'm a lion today.
All right. Well, have a great week 1, everybody.